What just happened? You got Dan, Billy, and Xander here. And today we're here to talk the season 2 finale of Silo called Into the Fire. And we all loved it. All of us loved it,
Peak,
especially Xander.
peak television. The
Cinema.
the best writing I have ever heard.
This critic gives it 2 thumbs up.
So we'll talk about why, but yeah, we had some problems with it this entire season in general. I still have hope that this show is going to turn out to be good as a whole. Season 1 was so good, so we'll see what they do with season 3. But yeah, this season just wasn't the best. People are going to ask, why are you reviewing a show you don't like? So what's your answer to that, Xander?
Well, if we only reviewed things we liked, then we would only talk about things we liked. I don't know. I think it's important to understand why you don't like things that you don't like. I like to have actual justifications for why I don't like things instead of just, it's bad. I think about it a lot, and I think about why I like things that I like a lot. So I think it's just as justified to do both sides.
You know why, people? Because I'm a fucking adult and I finish what I start. So if I start something, I'm going to finish it. Like, tough damn shit. Like, that's what my biggest, that's my problem.
If we finish Bad Monkey, we can finish this show.
Oh, God.
We reviewed every Lord of the Rings episode this season.
Oh, God.
Yeah, some things just don't turn out good,
I review like 30 reality TV episodes a week. You think most of them are good? Of course they're not. It's just what it is, man.
No.
Most days of work aren't good. You gotta go.
Check out Bill's channel, The Reality Guys. Everything you need to know in reality TV. All right. So it starts off with Pete being told that Juliet is alive. Possibly. That's what, they were told anyway by Shirley and Knox. And he goes, I've seen many people say that. They chant it throughout the halls. They write it on the walls. But you're the first people I actually believe. So he's got some faith now. Now we know Solo's name is Jimmy. So he's going by Jimmy this episode, not Solo. And he has a flashback to his parents. And they were younger than he is now at the time of the flashback. So he's going through some shit. He's sad. And the eater wants an extra suit because she wants to go out too. So everybody's going through some shit this episode. And then Jimmy sees a note that says safeguard procedure. And he's like, oh, shit, I got to talk to Juliet about this.
There's something you have to see.
No, I have to get going.
No, that's why you have to see it. What I have to show you might be the only way to save your silo.
So we do find out what the safeguard is. It's they poison the entire silo and kill everyone. That's what they do.
It's a tunnel. It's like maybe Smeagol, like it's a pipe. It's like,
cool. My question is why does going down and finding that, the door at the bottom of the silo, why would that trigger the safeguard to kill everyone?
I don't think that was the trigger. I think the rebellion is the trigger.
All right.
But it doesn't make any sense in my brain why you'd have that in place for that situation. Like, I could see them having a safeguard for weird reasons we don't know, but if they're going to open the door, they're all going to die anyway. So why would you poison them all when they're all going to die? It's just weird, man.
You would want them to go outside, even outside of that, because we all know it is shitty outside.
Yeah.
So they would find out really quick, like, oh, it's shitty out there, bro. We need to go fix that generator, dude. Like, can we put the stairs back?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of stuff. What did you guys think about the finale? Let us know in the comments. And Lucas is trying to head upstairs, but Shirley told someone to lock him up. He kicks the dude in the nuts, and he runs off. So he gets free for now.
First time in this episode that I was like, oh, this is like a cartoon. And he kicks him in the nuts, and the guy throws his ID badge at the same time. He just happens to catch it and is like, sorry, dude.
Dragged it is.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Fuck, man, sorry.
I was like,
sorry, dude.
What? What is happening? What the fuck, man? Yeah.
Well, it's the same shit that happens later with like the timer, right? Like the timer.
All right, and Knox and Co talk about their plan, but it's not really their plan. They're just messing with Bernard basically because they know that he's listening. So they say they're going to storm the barricade, hold off the raiders for 3 hours, rig the generator to explode if they don't get what they want. Billings wants the truth. They won't give it to us. So at this point, I was like, wait, does Knox know? Does he not know? But yeah, he knew. So he was just fucking with them the whole time. This triggers Bernard to have Amundsen send all the raiders to the barricade.
Secure the generator room now. How many should I send? All of them. Go!
And secure the generator room. So, yeah.
You know what that reminded me of?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it? No, not Dark Knight. Whatever the second one. No, the third one. The third. Yeah, where they're like, send every
Yeah.
cop into the sewer. You're like,
everybody.
Who does that, man? No one.
Yeah.
Like the worst strat. Have you never played a single round of StarCraft, bro? Come on.
Let's go at your base, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh,
that was a mega rush.
And Bernard's so smart, man. That's what gets me.
Yeah.
He's so smart. And he's like, send every single military person we have to one place. All right.
And then how about the Home Alone shit where the guy gets fucked up through the barricade?
What the fuck is that?
Oh, that was wild.
Yeah, that was great.
Cool. That was pretty cool.
It's basically all out war at that point. And back over to the other silo, Eater wants to be called Hope. They're like, yo, go to the vault. The adults are talking. It reminded me of that scene in The Avengers. And the adults are talking. You can't hear this. So he tells her about the safeguard. It could kill your people, but my parents figured out a way to stop it. If you learn how to stop it, you can save your silo too. And then he says the people that went out didn't die right away.
I mean, some of them made it pretty far. So yeah.
Yeah. Does that leave any space that it might be safe out there or no?
I just love the idea that it's like, oh, we figured out how to get rid of the safeguard. And I'm like, well, didn't you say it was a pipe? So I'm assuming it's probably some way of let's disconnect the pipe. Let's block the pipe, right? I don't know if it's going to be this big, crazy thing. It's going to be like, oh, well, I looked at the paper and it said where the button was.
Yeah, right. And then radio communication is restored, and Sims and Camille are worried they chose the wrong side. And she says, you find a way to the vault, I'll get our kid. That's what they plan on doing right now, right? So then, like Bill just said, the safeguard is a pipe, and they have to figure out how to cover it, block it, stop it from going into Silo 18. That's what he wants Juliet to do to save her people, right? And Lucas says what he learned doesn't matter now. He says this to Shirley because he's basically accepting death, thinking the safeguard is going to happen. And chaos is going on. Patrick screaming the display's a lie. It's safe to go outside, and Juliet lives. So he gathers like a whole mob of people that want to go out with him. Crazy timing that Juliet makes it back right in time to stop that, but that's what he wants.
I honestly, I want to get your guys' take on this, and this is something that drives me friggin' crazy in any TV show. But Lucas, where he's like, he broke the code, right? He knows the secrets now. He knows what's about to happen, and just fucking tell people what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
It doesn't matter anymore. I'm disheartened now. I'm just gonna spend my last few moments wandering. Dog, tell them what you just fucking read. Like that's his whole character. The entire show has been like the guy that turns over every corner, solves the thing, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, maybe there's big bad guys now, and you're being watched. That's not that different than you've already figured out about this individual silos. What is your deal, dude? It's just like it's plot bullshit. It's just plot bullshit, right? Like something's gonna happen to him, and he's not gonna get to tell the secret. Great. Now somebody else has got to go inside and read it. Like
it kind of sucks. Two things on that, because Lucas is my favorite character, and I really didn't like his choices this episode. But Xander did call like 4 or 5 weeks ago that there is a bigger bad that we don't know about yet, and that's true,
dude. It's just sci-fi law, man. Like it's like Lost, you know, which is cool. I guess there's some shows that'll subvert that, where the big bad isn't the big bad you think it was, or you know who it is from the start, which I always like more. But it just kind of felt this season like the show is pretty cookie cutter in its ideas. I was like, yeah, there's obviously someone controlling everything that isn't Bernard, because Bernard is just kind of a complete moron this season, even though he's just been so perfectly like ahead of everyone. Like all of season 1, he was just one step ahead of everyone, and then this season he's just like an angry teenager for some unknown reason.
Yeah 100%. All right, and then this is when Knox pretends like he just found out that Walker was the one that turned, and then Carla doesn't want anything to do with her, and he's like, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. And then she goes up to go talk to Bernard. That comes up in a minute. And then Jimmy and Jules, they find out that they have to cap the poison. It's enough to kill all 10,000 people. They find out it's on level 14, so they want to go check it out. So I guess she can learn how to do it in Silo 18. Am I wrong? Is that what was happening there?
Yeah. Okay, also, worst fucking plan ever. Like, if these people are so overpowering and they see everything you do, and their plan is to rely on one pipe that can be blocked.
Yeah,
that's their like huge backup plan. Is one pipe, not even two. You couldn't put like 2 pipes in just in case? Like what?
It's literally it. It's like break glass. It's like a cap next to the top. Like they're gonna get there to be a glass case with a cap in it.
Yeah.
Like break glass to cover.
Yeah, very good point, guys. Very good point. All right, so Walker's with Bernard. He's like, at least you're free. There's some time before I find out that the generator's safe, so let's just sit tight. She keeps looking at the clock, and at this point, it's deadly obvious that she's in on this plan. And she wants to tell a story about the generator. So that comes up in a second. And then we see that Pete had been carrying a body that was disguised as a raider. And we saw him drop the timer, right? And we find out that that body was Hank.
We're clear above. Are you ready? Fuck yes. I'm dying in that thing.
And they have a bomb. So yeah, they find out they dropped the timer. So Pete tells Hank, he's like, look, give this watch to Juliet if she's alive. Tell her never to stop fighting, never stop being yourself, and he's going to sacrifice himself, and he tells Hank to go. So he's going to blow himself up.
The dude's a deadbeat dad. He ditches out on life. He could have done anything else. You have the loser cop who offers his own life. It just sucks. I know it's just a stacking of illogical plot choices and holes happening in one episode, which is crazy. We're always like a little negative on it, making fun that nothing was happening. And now a bunch of crap happened and we should be amped, but we're not because they just made it way more convoluted and complicated than it need to be. No shit, they were going to rebel. They have to take 10 episodes to do this.
Like, and yeah,
I love how they established earlier in the episode that he's the only doctor caring for all the people below like level 90. And he's the one to blow himself up instead of the useless cop who is like Billing's dumb sidekick. Who does
Hank
nothing but eat people's cookies. Like I know we had to get rid of him because Juliet has to come back in and be sad that her dad got blown up. But my God, what a terrible way to do that. What a nonsensical way to make that happen.
And right before that, Walk was counting down from 5 because it was supposed to go off at a specific time, but it got delayed a little bit because they lost the timer, and then he blew himself up. And yeah, that's it.
One more thing. I had to explain to my girlfriend what the timer was because it didn't really make any sense. It was like, were they trying to keep time to know when to blow it up? Was someone always going to blow themselves up? And then I was like, okay, no, the bomb probably hooked up to the timer.
It did.
But then that means Mechanical is so bad at making things that they couldn't make a fucking timer that didn't just fall off of the bomb that they made. What? What?
That should have been the most secure thing there was wrapped around that stupid timer.
Throw a piece of tape on that bitch. Like
the good tape.
The one thing they rushed.
Yeah.
What was with Walker when she was like, not just me, all of us, and she drops like a bunch of sheriff's badges? Does that mean all the cops were in on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops were on his side. Because remember, like, he's yucking it up with them after when they let him out of the cell and shit. So, like, he definitely, again, I don't know why it took this long for people to be like, wow, like, IT has lights. Wow, like, this dickhead's got a light up keychain. Wow, like, this probably ain't right. You know, it's just like.
How many people, like, we know that there's people out in the silo now that saw the picture Juliet posted, and it took them a whole season to rebel. Took everyone a whole season to be like, wait, the outside's good to go? What am I doing in here?
It took them a whole season to get 2 people who saw it to say, oh, I saw it too.
Yeah.
It was the first time they were like, oh, wait, you saw it too.
I saw it. A flash of blue and green. When they shut down the power to fix a generator, I saw it.
It was the first time any of them just said it in public. Like, because, wait, maybe someone else knows. Like, again, but we don't keep it to ourselves because we're afraid.
Wild.
Oh. So the stairs between 92 and 90 are gone. Bernard's like, how many raiders are trapped? And he's like, you said send them all, bro. So they're
nobody had off that day either. No one had off work that day.
Who do we got? We got Sims. Go get Sims.
Go get Sims.
What is Sims gonna do, man? What?
Yeah. So the down deepers start to march up. Lucas goes to Bernard. He's like, hey, if they hear this, we're dead. I solved the code. This is why Meadows quit. This is why I quit. And then he whispers in his ear. So, we don't really get to hear it, but we know what he says. And he grabs the 18 key. Sims asks what he said. Bernard's just defeated. He's like, hey, you want it to be my shadow? Here you go. You're my shadow now. Here, take this, and here's the code. Go to the vault.
He's such a coldly calculated man for him to just instantly be like, my whole life was for nothing. I guess I'll just go outside then. Like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, You didn't assume that the dudes who were like telling you what to do constantly also had a backup plan? Like, I don't know, man. He's just such an
Did you think
idiot
you were
this
talking
season.
to a robot in that room? Did you think it was like some recording? You like it was like Krypton, like you're in the Fortress of Solitude? Like
Yeah.
yeah, these are some assholes that control you, dude. Like what you think they were your buddies? Like, did you believe there was some like divine purpose for what you're that's all I'm thinking in my head. Was this dude seriously like he believed in the stupid book? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
These are all valid points, but I know there's going to be some people in the comments that are really mad at us right now, and that's fine.
That's
And,
okay.
yeah.
I totally understand how you could like this episode and this season because what happens is cool. It's just the way that it happens that I have an issue with.
Yeah, 100%.
objectively, if you read a review of this episode, like what happened on this episode of Silo, and you read like an article, you're like, oh shit, like it popped off. But you watch it and you're like, it is not as cool as it sounds on paper.
No.
That's
Yeah, 100%.
They also screwed us by having spending 7 episodes of her sitting in a goddamn cave talking to Steve Zahn, and she didn't even like the guy enough to promise to come back. She's like, "Well, I'll really think about it."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, last gripe before we move on from this. The fact that we build up to this rebellion so hard, and then all we get is Nox swinging a giant hammer, and then we cut to them already captured. I was like, "Oh man, are you kidding me? I waited all season to see this." And
he says, "Let's fucking go!" Right before that,
it was like Moon Knight. It was like Moon Knight all over again, man.
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
Just cut the fight scenes. It'll save us some money.
Yeah. So Jules sees her IT suit is full of holes, and then she has a talking with that bitch, Audrey. It's Audrey. Yeah. So she was just like she was still giving shit to the eater, and she's like, "You guys are family. Get together. Like you gotta be cool. Like there's worse shit in the world. You gotta be cool together." So she gives him a little speech, and then she finds out that Jimmy took her suit, so he's just going to test it. She doesn't know that at this time. We see Lucas go to his mom. Come back to that in a second. Walk is reunited with Carla. She's like, I always knew that you wouldn't fuck us. So they're cool again. And then Patrick is leading his team to try and go outside. And then we see Jimmy was in the water testing the suit. So he's like, here, you're good to go. And that's when she says, I'll try and come back if I can. So we'll see if that happens. Maybe
that scene is a microcosm of why this season didn't hit for me. And it was just manufactured tension. When he takes the suit and he leaves, and then 5 seconds later, he's like, oh no, it's all good. Like, am I supposed to feel something? Because I've almost been trained by this season to be like, well, it doesn't matter. I know she's getting back to the silo. Like, I know she's getting back to the silo, man. Whether he has the suit or not, I know she's getting back there. So there's just no tension. There's no tension at all.
Valid points, man. Valid points. Well, how about this tension? Sims puts a gun on Lucas, says, what the fuck did you say to Bernard?
Sorry to barge in like this, Mrs. Cow, but I need to ask your son something. What the fuck did you say to Bernard?
Ooh. And then they cut away from it right away.
That dude's a loser. He's a loser, dude. What a Sims? Loser. Yeah, he's a loser. Even now, like, what is he now going to be like? Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to be in charge of the silo now. Dude, the silo sucks now. It's all blown up and shit. Everyone hates each other. Like, yeah, go ahead. Be in charge, man. Have fun with the books for, like, the week that you have access to it before everyone comes and storms that shit. Like,
it's the same issue that I have with Bernard, where Sims was so menacing because he was so well calculated in the first season, and this season he's just like, oh, my wife told me something, it's pretty useful. Like, all right, why are you here, man? What's going on, dude? You're just like, again, like a sad teenager who's like, well, Bernard fired me, so I don't know what to do. I'm just the judge now. Oh man,
I'm just the judge.
You're so boring, dude. Like, you're so boring to watch. What the hell is going on?
His wife ends up getting the promotion anywhere there at the end. He's like, well, you and your son beat it. We like her.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
and I saw that coming just because Camille's so like they telegraph it for the entire season that he's no longer important and Camille is now the one who's important, which is fine because I like Camille as a character. But Sims was so good. Like, he was so menacing. He was such a good villain. He just felt so like he was ready to snap at any point. And I was waiting for this season for him to snap at some point and just like beat the hell out of Bernard or like go insane. But he just is so withheld this whole season all the way up to the end. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
100%.
And then Lucas says, that Bernard assumed everything is okay because it's not lighting up. It's not lighting up because it's over. I won't tell you what he said. You can kill me and my mom. But what you really should do is to go see the legacy while there's still time. So that's what they say.
No,
Yeah.
just fucking tell him. Oh my God. Like,
I know.
You'll know it when you see it. No, because this guy's going to go in that room and see like a million things he's never seen before. That is the worst advice ever. Like, you'll know it when you see it. Like, no.
Oh, I know what's happening. I know what you're typing in the comments right now. You're going to say that when he went down to the tunnel, he was told that if he told anyone about what was down there, that they would start with the poisoning of the entire silo. But he went upstairs and told Bernard. So if you think they're like all knowing and watching everything, and you just told Bernard, you pretty much caused what you thought was going to happen in the first place. So just start telling people, man. You should probably just tell some people so they know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Knox is trying to stop Patrick's goons, but there's so many of them, so it's kind of impossible. And Billings is trying to get through to Bernard, saying, we need you to tell people the truth. And Patrick is there, and they take Billings, so no help there. And then they see Jules on the screen. She's running over, and everyone stops, and she cleans, and they celebrate. And then she hangs up a sheet that says, not safe. Do not come outside. So then she tries to break in. Doesn't work. The hatch opens up. We see Sims at the legacy we guys talked about earlier. He's like, hey, I want to save the silo. The voice says so do I. But he says you and your son must leave. Camille can stay. What is the voice? Any quick thoughts on that?
It's whoever's controlling the silo. It's like overarching. Silo 51 or Silo 1, whatever it is.
The big bad.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a goddamn front man. It's a Squid Game.
Yeah, sure.
And
okay.
Oh man. Me and Bill were talking before the show, kind of saying how they almost pulled the Game of Thrones teleportation thing in this episode, where we don't even see Juliet get in a suit or leave the other silo, and she just happens to, like, I could have used like the tension of her running back to her silo, you know? That would have been a really cool shot to include in the show, where everything's really ramping up in Silo 18. Then we have Juliet outside, like running because she knows she has to make it back as fast as possible because she doesn't know what's about to happen. That would have been cool. But instead, she just teleports there.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of like a silent run with the rioting going on, right?
Yeah.
That would have been
cool.
Great. Because there was a good amount of space between those silos. So, you know, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that it's playing with expectations and time, but it was so obvious that she was going to make it back. I guess there was one of two ways it could happen, is she makes it back as it opens and everyone's going outside, which is what I was hoping was going to happen. Because that'd be way cooler for her to be walking up in a suit while everybody's dying outside. I'd be like, oh, that goes pretty hard. But no, just in the nick of time to save everyone. Fuck, man.
Yeah, well,
it's like a Nickelodeon show.
Bernard greets her.
CW.
Bernard, CW it is. Bernard greets her in a suit, holds a gun to her.
Hey! You're gonna shoot me?
Saving them is out of your hands because they know about they know about the pump and the poison. And he's like, I got this gun just in case I need to take care of myself when I run out of air. And he knows the who, but he doesn't know the why of who's controlling this. They can kill us anytime they want. She says, maybe not. I figured something out. And then they get locked in what is this room with fire?
It's to sterilize whatever is killing people on the outside. That's what I'm assuming. Because after they do it in the first season, after they let the original sheriff's wife out, the whole room like fills with fire. So I'm assuming to kill off poison, because radiation doesn't die in fire. So I don't know what's outside, but it's to kill that. But that's what I was saying before the show is I'll be really mad if they're still alive, because if it's supposed to kill like microbial poison or life or whatever is killing people outside, but Bernard and Jules can live by getting on the floor. Sure. What? Oh man, that's really silly. It's
gonna be a trap door, bro. It's just gonna be a trap door. It's just some bullshit, a ventilation shaft, you know, like an emergency shut-off button.
Oh yeah, I could see
just
that.
Off screen,
Bernard
some way
crawls on the floor and hits a lever and it turns off.
Yeah, the assholes controlling everything just turn it off.
Yeah, sure.
Sick bastards, right?
But again,
they're messing with them.
Like I was saying before, no tension, man. I know that Jules isn't gonna die in that room, so I'm not like the cliffhanger in this season. I'm like, okay, how's she gonna make it out of this one? Scooby-Doo. I don't know, man. It's just really, really not exciting. I don't know.
All right, well, then I saw a scene I never thought I'd see in Silo. It was like modern life, they're in Washington, D.C., and they're talking about, where were you when it happened? In session in Georgia's 15th. And it looks like these two were on like a first date, but she was really just trying to get information out of them.
The dirty bomb is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Plans to strike back against Iran. And so I guess that's how this was all caused. It was a war between US and Iran, right?
Well, that's the cover story of what happened, right? So this guy, this is going to be like the guy who invented the silos or something, like, right? Like, well, who else is it going to be that we'd give a shit about? Like, Juliet's grandpa, like,
yeah. And so you think we get a lot more of these types of scenes next season?
Definitely. Yeah, I was saying that if they're going to do backstory and there's either 4 or 5 seasons of this, they have to start doing backstory now, because you'd want either a full season or 2 seasons of backstory leading you up to how the silos came to be. And then the last season is going to be the culmination of it all. So I assumed it would end this season with something like that. And yeah, I agree with Bill. It's probably false flag. Just based on reality, I feel like if the US wanted to do something sneaky, they'd blame it on Iran or China. So I just, it kind of feels like weird twist.
I could see it was a weird twist, and I could see a lot of people actually liking the final scene because it was so different and it actually gave you some sort of answer of how this came to be. And then we see him give her the Pez dispenser, which was one of the relics from season 1. So yeah, that's how it ends. And
I liked it until that moment. I was like, this scene is pretty cool. This is a nice change of pace. And then we got the Pez dispenser, and I was like, what?
I wanted the guy to be like watching the silo on his phone.
Would have been much more satisfying.
Well, and I know that means she's going to end up in the silo, which is like the relevance.
Woman?
That woman's going to end up in the silo. I'm sure that's what that means. But again, I just don't. How did Han Solo get his name? He was alone. I don't care, man. I just, how did the Pez dispenser get into the silo? It doesn't matter to me, dude. It's a Pez dispenser. I don't care, man. Listen,
all I thought about at that moment was like, we're gonna get some corny ass shot next season of like a wide shot of like the desert and like all these drills like drilling the holes. Like, I don't care that how you drilled the holes, or that it was this big thing. Like they're silos. I get it. Like enough happened in the first season, and then they give us a couple. Like, we get it. We get the idea. Like, we get it, right? Like, it's not really that big of a mystery. It's a bunch of government dickheads who lied to a bunch of people and put them in this weird pseudo experiment to control / whatever the F reason. And that's it. And there's going to be, guess what, everyone? There's still going to be a really nice place somewhere, right? Like, there's going to be a nice silo, right? Or there's going to be a country that still exists. Like, you don't need to be book readers or rocket scientists to know where this is going.
I wouldn't be surprised if like China or somewhere on the other side of the world is like still good. But yeah, I feel like Bill's right. They're probably definitely going to over explain the origin of the silos, which is something you don't need to see. I would just like the explanation of why. I don't need to see the how, but I feel like we're definitely going to get the how.
Well, this has been fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. If you disagree, that's fine. Let us know in the comment section.
I'd still give this show like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
ish.
So
it's not bad. Yeah,
the acting is great. It's just not compared to season 1. Season 1 was so good.
Yeah,
season 1 of this show was so good, and so we hold it to that standard, right? So we want it to be good.
Unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So, all right. Well, thanks for being here throughout this silo journey, and thanks for watching. And hopefully, we see you in a future video, and you don't hate us now. All right, thanks, guys. See you.
Peace.
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened? That just happened.